Hey guys, Priscilla with Holistic Healing here. So we're going to get our first guild in the ground, and I've got the assistance of little people. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see if they'll be of assistance. All right, so I'm going to line up the plants real quick, and then I'll let you know what's going on. Aiden, can you grab those two potted plants over there by the porch? Over there by the porch. The peach trees. Yep. So we're going to do 2 peach tree guilds, and then we're going to surround them with blueberries, rosemary, strawberries. One is going to have a border of onions. One's going to have a border of garlic, some thyme. So it's going to be an interesting guild here, all right? So stay tuned. I'm staking out the I guess the width of how big I want this guild to be. So I'm gonna give it like a 10-foot diameter. I'm gonna have the peach dead smack in the center. I am going to put, there's also going to be a pawpaw in here, and I'm going to do the pawpaw on the north side of the peach tree because the pawpaw in its infancy needs a lot of shade. But given that peach trees tend to die after several years, by the time the pawpaw gets established, it's going to be time to cut back this peach tree. So that will be the main tree in here. So then I've got a blueberry that I'm going to put in here. I'm going to have a rosemary that I'm going to put in here as well. I'm also going to have some strawberries, some thyme, and also going to have between onions in this one and garlic in the other one. But I'm probably only going to be able to get through one today because it looks like it's trying to storm. So I'm going to try to get as much done as I can get done today. Devin, can you do me a favor? Can you, I'm going to break down this box. If you can hose it down for me on both sides, get it nice and saturated for me, okay?
What do you mean like hose it?
Wet the box. I'll wait. Let me break it down first, okay? That's how I'm going to do this. 1 second, buddy. So the center of the gill is going to have the peach tree, and this is a Belle of Georgia peach. And then, give me 1 second, Max. Then that's going to be the pawpaw, so it's going to be right north of that because south is the other direction. Give me 1 second. Then I've got thyme. Oh, it's starting to rain. Rosemary, comfrey. So the comfrey is going to be a natural chop and drop along with a means to fertilize. Then the herbs is going to be the herbaceous layer, and it's going to help to repel certain pests that I don't want. Then you've got blueberry. Blueberry, you should always have at least 2 blueberries of different species next to each other to really pollinate. And then around the perimeter, and this one I'm going to do onions. So it's going to be some of the onion sets that I got from the Delaware Homestead that I'm going to use to surround this to kind of deter the deer. And then in between, I am going to put strawberry plants. So this whole section is going to be one big guild. And I'm going to show you as I go through, and then clearly you see the before, and then you'll see the after shortly. All right, so here I am trying to beat the rain, digging a small hole to get the pawpaw in the ground. The peach tree is already in the ground, so we're working on getting the pawpaw in along with the other plants. I believe I already have the blueberries in at this time as well. So it's really just the pawpaw, the thyme, and the rosemary that I still need to get in the ground. I am going to be using that box that I just dragged over Please don't mind Aiden's recordings. But I'm digging up the dirt, putting the dirt into the box. I put the dirt in the box so that way I can use all the dirt instead of just letting the dirt sit on top of the grass. I'm just making a small hole here, nothing crazy. I don't make my holes too big because I want to not like baby the overall plants, and I want it to get used to the soil that it's going to be in versus putting a whole bunch of non-native soil in the hole and then the plant struggling from there. So getting the pawpaw in the ground, putting a little bit of dirt, and then putting a lot of the native dirt back into its place. And then once I go ahead and get all the plants in, I'm going to cover everything with cardboard, and that's it. Remind me, I'm working in the rain, but we've got most of the gill in place. So in the center, you see the peach. Then you've got blueberry. To the north, that little tiny one right there is the pawpaw. And then we've got the comfrey, which is going to be a natural fertilizer as well as a chop and drop. We've got thyme, which is going to help with the insect repellent. And we've got rosemary over there. And the rosemary looks tiny, but that rosemary spreads to a good 3 feet wide. So layering everything down with cardboard. I'm letting the rain soak in the rest of the cardboard. I'm going to douse it. And we're going to cover this with soil. And then we're going to cover it with chop and drop. I am going to take some of the stuff that I don't want, and I'm going to chop it down or cut it down, and then I'm going to put it over here as mulch, because if you don't cover the soil, Mother Nature will cover it with something less desirable. So this is the guild in process. And then I will come back later once I get the soil on top, and I will get onions around the perimeter as well as strawberries in the inner perimeter. So this will be filled nice with ground cover, herbaceous layer, bush layer. The comfrey works as not only the fertilizer, but it is like a rhizome layer. And then yeah, so all of this in due time will be covered and pretty, and I might throw in some actual flowers or some like herbs, maybe some echinacea, I don't know. But right now this is the start of the guild, and I am getting soaked, but I'm going to finish this.